Hi, I'm Shannon, owner of Pahrump Early Learning Academy, where we are more than just childcare.
Hi, I'm Monique Mitchell with KPVM Television. My children attend Pella and they love it. The curriculum they have is pretty amazing, and my children learn what they need at their level.
Not only are the children learning, they're having fun, and that's what matters.
I like Pella. They help you with your homework, and it's fun.
Give us a call today to tour our facility at 751-5335.
News 46 is brought to you by Comfort Hospice Care, where we give our patients and their loved ones peace of mind, knowing we provide the highest quality of care 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. For more information, call 751-0349.
On News 46, a new sheriff is in town. Are some of our wells going dry? And the BOCC says goodbye to our town manager. News 46 starts now.
You're watching KPVM News 46 with Deanna O'Donnell. News 46, local coverage you can count on.
Good evening. It's Monday, January 5th, 2015. I'm Deanna O'Donnell for News 46. After 12 years, Sheriff Tony Demaio had a final farewell this morning at the Board of Nye County Commissioners' Chambers in the Calvada Eye. Sheriff Sharon Werley is now the second female in the history of Nye County to take command following Joni Wines, who was sheriff from 1977 until 1980. The hour-long ceremony, narrated by Detective Michael Eisenloffel, featured the national anthem by Deputy Greg Curtin, past sheriff appreciations, and prayer by Deputy James Scott. Both the outgoing and incoming sheriffs read their speeches, the first by outgoing Sheriff Tony Demaio.
First of all, I'd like to thank Linda, my wife, who's been involved in support of my career for the last 40-plus years in law enforcement. I could not have done it without you. Thank you so much. I want to thank the citizens of Nye County who entrusted me with their confidence to administrate the office on their behalf. Because as sheriffs, we are elected by the people of Nye County, our counties, to serve them and administrate the office on their behalf. This is also a farewell to those I had the pleasure to serve with the Nye County Sheriff's Office. And to you is most of what I'm going to say here, because you are still going to continue serving the citizens of Nye County. While we may have difference of opinions, we still serve with the hopes that we can make our county a better place to live. There were fun times, times of sorrow, and times of tragedy. But regardless, we still went forward and still served the people of this county. I want to thank you all for the service that you have done on behalf of this community. I want to thank the citizens of Nye County for the ability to serve them for the last 12 years. I want to thank all of you. And how can I say goodbye? Well, you're still going to be in my hearts. You may step away from the profession and retire, and this is my midnight, but you can never forget the people you serve with and the job you've done for the citizens that you serve. So, Sharon, my support. God bless you all. God bless America, and God bless the citizens of Nye County. Thank you. I take my gloves off. I don't want to make sure I get draw first blood here.
Nye County Sheriff retired Harold Stick Davis presented the Nye County Sheriff's Badge to Wade A. Liskey Jr. for his bidding. Retired Sheriff Wade A. Liskey Jr. presented the same badge to Sheriff Sharon A. Werley for her bidding. This badge will be passed on to future Nye County Sheriffs.
Sheriff Sharon Werley, I respectfully request the change of command. I stand relieved.
Present arms. Order arms.
And after having that badge placed on her uniform by Sheriff Tony Demaio, the now Sheriff Sharon Werley spoke about her plans for the department.
Under new leadership, the Sheriff's Office will remain a constitutional office for the people of Nye County. We are relentless in our fight against crime, and we will continue to incorporate new and innovative crime-fighting strategies throughout Nye County. Our motto is protect and serve. Our job is not just enforcing the laws that our citizens have voted to live by, but caring for those who live, work, and visit Nye County. We too are residents of Nye County. We are your neighbors, your friends. We do not stand above you or below you, but shoulder to shoulder with you to build a place to live, raise our families, and retire. Ours is a role of service, and often is upon immediate demand. We are among the few professions that still make house calls. I believe we're called to service, to serve everyone in our county regardless of their address, economic status, political preference, religious practice, age, or racial, ethnic origin. I don't believe that the citizen is always right, but they're always our citizen. Every citizen and visitor will be treated with respect, even if some, by their own actions, may not deserve that respect. Your safety and the safety of my deputies is my highest priority. To ensure safe communities in Nye County, crime fighting must be a constant, continuing effort. Preventative measures and mitigation strategies will be developed, agreed upon by Nye County citizens and law enforcement, then trained and implemented. My staff and I will work with the existing community groups, form and train additional groups to develop and implement grassroots law enforcement strategies for all of Nye County.
And the entire Sheriff Change of Command ceremony will be uploaded to KPVM's YouTube page by tomorrow night. Our YouTube page is KPVM 41. Governor Brian Sandoval has been sworn in for a second term in a ceremony in Carson City. The governor took the oath of office this morning on the Capitol steps. He joined a number of other Republican constitutional officers who are beginning their first terms, including Lieutenant Governor Mark Hutchinson, Secretary of State Barbara Sagatsky, Treasurer Dan Swartz, Attorney General Adam Laxalt, and Controller Ron Knight. When we come back from this break, we'll have your Desert View Hospital health tip.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Inspiration Senior Living, where we provide affordable elegance to Pahrump area seniors. Give us a call at 751-2300 and make an appointment to tour our community.
Welcome back to News 46. Certain carbohydrate-containing foods can differ in the amount they raise blood sugar. A new study examined whether a diet containing foods that raise blood sugar levels less would improve risk factors for heart disease and diabetes.
This health tip is brought to you by
Desert View Hospital and Mountain Valley Physicians Group. Don't put your health on hold. We have time for you. Call us to schedule your appointment. 775-751-7100.
Some carbohydrate-containing foods, like bananas, increase the blood sugar more than other carb foods, like an apple,
putting the banana higher on the glycemic index.
We made different versions of healthful diets based on how much certain foods increased the blood sugar.
Dr. Frank Sachs from the Harvard School of Public Health and co-authors studied 163 overweight adults that had slightly elevated blood pressure. Patients were assigned to eat one of 4 different diets for 5 weeks each. All patients completed at least 2 different diets.
I remember putting the honey on the
cheese. Sandra Weeks participated in the study and worked with dietitian Karen Yee, who showed her how the different meals included carbohydrate-containing foods that were either higher or lower on the glycemic index.
Choosing foods specifically on how much they raise blood sugar doesn't have an impact one way or the other on blood pressure, cholesterol, insulin resistance, risk factors for cardiovascular disease and diabetes. We thought that the low glycemic index foods are really the ones that would be most beneficial.
Turns out, this meal of chicken and sauce over pasta cooked a little less, which makes it a lower glycemic food, had the same effect as this chicken and sauce meal cooked with instant white rice, which is a higher glycemic food.
We can make really healthful diets that are composed of foods, some of which raise blood sugar more than others, but as long as they're healthful, like fruits or cereal grains. So essentially, it gives people a lot more options.
While Sandra says she learned a lot from the study, her best advice about eating a healthful diet?
Planning ahead. That's always the key.
Catherine Dolph, The JAMA Report.
Thanks so much, Catherine. Study authors say they only included healthful foods in these diets that happen to raise blood sugar more, not junk foods or foods with added sugar. Homeowners on the south end of town are concerned over the fact that their wells are getting lower. We spoke to a few residents, and one that's kind of famous, Art Bell, who is the former owner of Kenai Radio, as well as Nye County Commissioner Dan Shinhofen, to find out more.
Basically, his well went dry. Now, having said that, another well adjacent to that went dry. Adjacent to that, we have a farm pump pumping untold thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of gallons into a farm field in a situation where it's going down to 23 degrees at night. Now, I don't know why they're doing that, but we've got wells going dry, so if Pahrump is concerned about water, all of you better be concerned about what's going on here.
It was mid-September about when they first, my recollection, for when they planted and started plowing and watering.
It's all iced over. Now, a lot of people in Pahrump grow gardens. How many of them are growing gardens in 23-degree nights? So what they're doing, we think, I'm not an expert on water. I sure know when it goes away and you don't have any more. But we think they're pumping water just to maintain their water rights. That may be correct or incorrect. Whatever they're doing, we've had 100-foot geysers that have gone on for hours and hours, in some cases all night long. Yep. Days, yes. So it's a big concern. We're losing water.
The whole thing about this is I am scared to death. These people that live in Desert Hills Circle, we're all pretty much on Social Security and disability. The water's been running low. People have run dry, several houses so far, and we want to know when something's going to be done about this. I'm in fear of having to spend thousands of dollars myself, and I've watched this field every day since last September at the way they've been watering things. And so far, the field looks pretty bad. I don't think it's being done right. Lots of excess water. The point is, folks, we're scared. We live in a desert out here. Let's do something about this, and we're in this together. Let's save water and be smart. Let's not waste.
You know, this is really a state engineer issue. We have had many conversations with him. One of the things we'd like him to change is his beneficial use policy, which is properties like this that, you understand, this whole area was agricultural at one time. So these guys are holding old agricultural rights, and I think it's every 4 years, they have to grow something, or at least some of them open their wells to dump water to show that it's been used. So really it's something that the state engineer has to change his policy on, and you know that we're in conversation with him. He's trying to make this area of critical concern. There are areas that have gone down that have dropped quite a bit. The fan is up quite a bit. I can show you springs that have run, but we happen to live, and I live half mile from here myself, we live in an area where a lot of the subsidence has happened where we don't have as much, the water hasn't migrated down here. So we do need to do something about waste, and that's one of the biggest wastes that we have is that policy of dumping water on a field.
News 46 contacted Assemblyman James Oscarson as well as Commissioner Shinhofen. Senator Pete Goycochea, Assemblyman Oscarson, Commissioner Dan Shinhofen, and Jason King from the Nevada Division of Water Resources are now checking into stopping the excessive watering. The homeowners contacted News 46 today to update us that all the officials have contacted and Holacek was terminated from her position by the Nye County Commissioners. Holacek was devastated and left the meeting in tears, saying that the board never even considered the option of keeping her on. Many public comments were made in favor of the town official and 3 of them against. Some people at the meeting commented about the several other towns in Nye County that have town managers and wondered why she couldn't keep her job since it was already in the budget.
Mr. Stevens, I've done a lot of soul searching on this. I'd make a motion to not continuing employment with Ms. Holacek to name Pam Webster as a town manager, to direct her to bring back a plan within the next 30 days to possibly have a department head to help her, or to an appointed department head, and to leave all other positions as they are until the board can look at.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. Do I need to repeat that, Sam? No? Okay. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Is there any opposed? That passes 5-0.
News 46 will return in just a moment.
Today's news is brought to you in part by Dr. George Leeks, Pahrumph's optometrist since 1990, offering full-spectrum eye care for children and adults. Call today, 727-8300.
Well, here is our final interview with a town board member. Bill Dolan gives his last thoughts to be aired on this historic day. Today makes the official day that the town of Pahrump no longer has a town board. The town board form of government was dissolved as a result of a ballot question in November.
I served just at 3 years the first time, 2 years this time. So of everybody sitting up there, I've actually served the longest. There's been a lot of accomplishments that we've gotten done and that we've improved in this community. We've brought some nice stuff in here. We've got the Spring Mountain Motorsports Raceway. That's a beautiful complex. We continue to add things. There's been different national businesses that have come in. The Pizza Hut, the smoothie, tropical smoothie came in. We now have the Holiday Express coming in. And we've lost quite a few of some large projects because of problems. And I'll just leave it at that.
So how do you think the last town board meeting went?
I think it went very well, considering. I thought there was going to be, to be honest with you, I thought there was going to be some problems, and I'm glad there wasn't. People behaved themselves for the most part, and we got through the business that needed to get done. We said our thank yous to staff and to the media. And we're just moving on. As I said, my wife and I are still going to be involved in the community here. There's no doubt about it. We're vested here. We have a large piece of property here, and I'm here if anybody has any questions.
A lot of changes in our town and county. Accused Boston Marathon bomber Dzhokhar Tsarnaev went on trial today. Federal prosecutors and defense attorneys for Tsarnaev have held talks on a possible plea agreement, but have failed to reach one. The discussions in recent months have centered on the possibility of Tsarnaev pleading guilty and receiving a life sentence without parole. The talks have reached an impasse because the Justice Department has resisted removing the death penalty as a possibility. Tsarnaev is facing 30 counts, including detonating a weapon of mass destruction. 3 people died and 264 people were injured in the April 15th attacks. Let's join Courtney Salmon with Weekend Sports.
Weekend Sports is brought to you by Wolfenstein Construction. Pahrump Valley High School winter sports are back underway, full speed ahead. The PVHS girls and boys basketball teams will have home games tomorrow against Cheyenne High School. Both teams are looking for their first conference wins of the season. The varsity girls game starts at 5 p.m. and the varsity boys at 6:30 p.m. at Pahrump Valley High School. Pahrump basketball then travels to Western on Thursday night. Western is typically one of the weakest teams in the conference. If they play well, both teams may be able to finish their return week from break strong as they go full force into the rest of the season. Pahrump Valley Wrestling continues Wednesday at Pahrump Valley High School against Cheyenne, starting at 6 p.m. Cheyenne High School has already lost to Mojave and Western this season. The road to the Lombardi Trophy is becoming more apparent as the wild card round of the NFL playoffs has been completed. The Carolina Panthers defeated the Arizona Cardinals and will move on to face the Seattle Seahawks. The Dallas Cowboys defeated the Detroit Lions and will move on to face the Green Bay Packers. The Baltimore Ravens beat the Pittsburgh Steelers to move on to face the New England Patriots, and the Indianapolis Colts defeated the Cincinnati Bengals and will now face the Denver Broncos. For those of you who have regularly watched SportsCenter like I have, sadly say goodbye to longtime ESPN anchor Stuart Scott, who lost his 3rd battle with stomach cancer. Scott always said he beat cancer because of the way he chose to live with it. At last year's ESPYs, Scott was presented with the Jimmy V Perseverance Award. Scott died Sunday morning at the age of 49. This has been Weekend Sports. I'm Courtney Salmon with News 46.
Thank you so much, Courtney. When we return from this break, we'll have your weather with Noah Began.
News 46 weather is brought to you by your local dairy farmers. Dairy products are very important in maintaining a healthy body.
Hello and welcome back to News 46. Today is Monday, January 5th. Today we had sunny skies with a high of 60 degrees. Your average temperature around this time of year is 57 degrees. Winds were coming from the east-southeast today at 4 miles per hour with gusts up to 6 miles per hour. The UV index today was 1, which is low. Humidity was at 28% today. Sunrise was at 6:56 this morning, and the record high in 2003 was 71 degrees. Well, tonight we'll have clear skies with a low of 38 degrees. Your average temperature around this time of year is 39 degrees. Winds will be coming from the north-northeast this evening at 4 miles per hour with gusts up to 7 miles per hour. Humidity will be at 47%. Sunset was at 4:44 this evening, and the record low in 1950 was 12 degrees. Well, tomorrow we'll have sunny skies with a high of 67 degrees and a low of 39 degrees. Winds will be coming from the east at 4 miles per hour with gusts up to 6 miles per hour. Humidity will be at 34%. Sunrise will be at 6:56 tomorrow morning, and the UV index will be 2, which is low. For our 7-day forecast, we'll be starting off with some sunny skies. Looks like some clouds will be rolling in around this Friday, though, and they'll be sticking around for a while. We should have partly cloudy skies for the rest of these 7 days. And then your high temperatures will be starting off in the high 60s. They'll be dropping down into the low 60s around this weekend, so be looking out for that. And then your low temperatures will be starting off in the high 30s. They'll be dropping down a little bit into the mid 30s around this Friday, and then they'll be pretty steady in those mid 30s for these next couple days.
The weather's looking fantastic out there. Thanks so much, Noah. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of News 46 from everyone up here at KPVM-TV. And, of course, if you're listening out there on 95.9 KACE Country Radio, we'll see you back here tomorrow night. I'm Deanna O'Donnell. Good night.